Greetings, my beautiful lovelies. It's Emmy. How are you? It's great to see you and welcome back to another gadget test. Today I'm going to be testing out a gadget that presses yogurt into dry yogurt. A few of you got in touch with me asking to do this product slash recipe, and I was very intrigued. So the video I refer to make today's recipe comes from Miss She and Mr. He. They are terrific. You can find them on TikTok. And it uses this product right here. Mine is all wet because I washed it. And it is a yogurt press. I believe it's used to make homemade Greek yogurt. So what is Greek yogurt? Greek yogurt is a thickened yogurt, and it's thickened because it has less whey, which is the watery substance sometimes you find on the top of your yogurt. You can make Greek style yogurt at home without a gadget by simply using a piece of cheesecloth. Pour your regular yogurt, plain regular yogurt, into your cheesecloth and put it into a strainer basket, and then place that whole thing into a bowl to catch the whey. Place it in your refrigerator and the whey will drip out and your yogurt will be thicker and richer and creamy and luscious, and that is a Greek style yogurt. So this gadget does the same thing. It has a little strainer basket and the whey drips down below, but it also has a spring like this, a little spring on the top. This will give it even more pressure and creating an even drier yogurt. So here's a little plunger, and based on the design, it reminds me a lot of some tofu presses that I've seen. If you haven't seen my homemade tofu video, you should definitely check that out. I didn't use this particular gadget, but I did use a wooden press. So you could also, I imagine, make extra firm or firm style tofu using a press like this. So this is all wet and rinsed out. So let's go ahead and make some dry yogurt. So I've got some cheesecloth here. I'm going to double it up. So there's 2 layers. The basket in here actually has a pretty fine mesh at the bottom. Don't know if that shows up on camera. So not sure how necessary this cheesecloth is, but in the directions, it does say cheesecloth. So I'm gonna use it. Plus in the video that I watched, they use cheesecloth as well. I think this will help us get the yogurt out. So prepared basket. Now we make our yogurt. I've got some plain unsweetened yogurt. This is not Greek style, but you could use Greek style and your yogurt will be even drier. I was just curious to see what it would do to regular yogurt. So plain unsweetened yogurt. I'm going to scoop 1/4 of the container into 2 bowls. And in the video, they color the yogurt, so that's kind of fun. I'm just going to use a drop of gel food coloring, and this is just liquid food coloring. You don't have to do this, of course, but it does make it fun. And of course, very visually pleasing for the content creation. So we have pink, and we have a teal color. So that's like a light kind of pastel teal blue. So now we are going to pour our 2 colors of yogurt into our machine. It's not really a machine, but a gadget. Like that. And again, the coloring is not necessary, it's just fun. And then immediately you can see some whey dripping in there. Can you see that? And then this is what it looks like inside. We've got like a 2-tone thing going on. Very fun. So now we fold this over our yogurt. And based on the video, I thought you put this plunger on right away, but the instructions say otherwise. We're supposed to cap this and place this in the refrigerator and let it drip for 4 to 6 hours, about a half a day, before we add the plunger. I think if we put it in too early, it's going to start squirting and pressing the yogurt through the mesh, which we don't want. We need to relieve and release some of that whey before we press. So a whole half day before we add this, and then we place this plunger on along with a lid, and then we allow it to press overnight, and then we can dump it out. So I already did this last night, so I'd have something ready to taste today. So let me go grab that out of the fridge. Look how much whey came out of it. It's probably a cup or so. Whoa, okay. So we opened it up, take this off, let's pull it out. sure enough, it comes out like a piece of cheese or something, pink and blue cheese. Just out of curiosity, let's see how much whey came out of this. Look at that. It's about a cup. That's a lot of whey. So I'm actually going to save this because I recently saw a recipe on using yogurt whey to create effervescent drinks naturally. You can use this to create carbonated drinks at home, which is so cool. I recently made a homemade ginger bug to make my own ginger brew. Fantastic. And now I'm going to try whey. So cool. Okay, let's uncover this. Wow, so there's not that much of it left. Look. Wow. Okay, we're gonna turn it over. That's it. Look at that. How interesting. That pattern is imprinted from the bottom of the contraption, and it has a little bit of a kind of mesh pattern from the cheesecloth. Interesting. There's the blue part of our yogurt. So essentially this is a kind of cheese at the end of the day, right? Yogurt cheese. Now I want it to be in the middle, but dare I try to move it? Okay. Yogurt cheese. Now I've got some melted white candy melt. I'm going to pour it on here and see if I can get it to solidify and create a little crackle kind of thing. Spread it out really thin. And we want this to harden up so we can crack it. Okay. And then I have some beautiful flowers I picked from my garden. These are edible flowers. Most of them are nasturtiums. There's some marigolds, and I've got a few raspberries in there as well. Raspberries, aren't they gorgeous? So we'll put some raspberries around, and I'll put some nasturtiums, which are so beautiful. I don't know how appropriate it would be to match this with yogurt, to be honest, because nasturtiums are, as I said, quite peppery, but they're beautiful. So I'm going to add them just to make my plate pretty and colorful. Look how gorgeous that is already. I've also got some homemade granola, and I'll add that to my dish as well. Oops, come back. All right, I guess I should put some, maybe I'll put some marigold petals on top, just like that. Ta-da! There is my yogurt cheese, my dry yogurt as it's called. It's pretty beautiful, look at that. I mean, the flowers are beautiful. Okay, all right, my lovelies, here is my beautiful dry yogurt. It is absolutely stunning, look at that. Perfect little breakfast there. I think that's a pretty large serving of yogurt for me, but for a couple of people, something to share. Very pretty. And we've got a little bit of the white chocolate melt on the top because we want to smash it. I think that's the whole appeal of this, besides the dry yogurt aspect in terms of being novel. Let's go ahead and crack this if we can. So I've got my spatula. Let's give it a break. Oh yeah, look at that. Totally crushed it. That's very cool. Let's do it again. Wow. That is pretty cool how it just cracks. Look at that. The cracking is very satisfying. Very satisfying how it just shatters and cracks. Look at that. Beautiful. Stunning, actually. You get this kind of broken stained glass effect going on, right? Now, because this is unsweetened, let's add some maple syrup, because maple syrup and yogurt go really well together. Here we go. Oof. That's beautiful. If I saw this, I really wouldn't know what's going on, but that's gorgeous. Okay, let's give it a taste. I'm gonna mix, first I'm gonna just taste it like this without mixing it. I'm gonna have a bite of yogurt, bite of raspberry, a little bit of flour on there, white chocolate. Let's give it a taste. Here we go. Itadakimasu. Delicious. It tastes like yogurt. Very tangy, dairied, rich, because the yogurt has been so concentrated. Very creamy, almost the texture of cream cheese. The maple syrup is delicious, sweet, nutty, and then we've got some granola in there for some added texture and crunch. Delicious. Terrific breakfast. It's denser than regular yogurt. So if you're expecting it to be your regular yogurt experience, it's going to be different texturally. It's much thicker. So I think you definitely need some kind of beverage. Cup of tea, cup of coffee, glass of milk. Great. I think this would be a really great way to make a dip. Take your yogurt, press it. Then you could add some garlic oil on top, some other kinds of toppings, fresh herbs, then have a bunch of chips around. And then you can make this into kind of like a dipping platter kind of appetizer, like a hummus or something. I think that'd be terrific. The texture is much, much, much richer and thicker than even regular style Greek yogurt, regular Greek style yogurt. It's much drier. And if you were to use store-bought Greek style yogurt and pressed it, it would be even drier and thicker, and you could have other applications. It's really become more like a cheese, but it has the same flavor as yogurt. Nice and tangy and bright, but delicious. You definitely need some kind of sweetener if you're going to use plain yogurt. You probably could use this with flavored yogurt as well, or yogurt that has sugar in it. But then your whey, of course, will be sweet as well. But I don't know. I feel like there's some room to play around with this and experiment. So there you have it. Dry yogurt. The gadget totally works. Is it worth the $20 I paid for it? I'm not so sure. Unless you want to have this yogurt all the time, regularly, I don't think I would go to the lengths. It was a fun experiment for me, but you could replicate this at home using a sieve and some inexpensive cheesecloth that you could buy at the supermarket and get something pretty similar. It won't be a perfect puck like this, but you know, really good. Alrighty, my loves, there you have it. The quick mizukiri, which sounds Japanese, but it's not, yogurt press. It's something that I'll be keeping, probably not. It was novel to use and to try. But this yogurt, of course, tends to be less expensive than Greek style yogurt, and now you know why, because this has a lot more water in it than Greek style yogurt. But you could save some money by making it yourself, but then of course you'd have to invest the $20 to get this contraption in the first place. So hard for me to see the justification in getting something like this, unless you want to make tofu and have this become a multitasker. Alrighty, my lovelies. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that one. I hope you learned something. Please share this video with your friends. Follow me on social media, like this video, subscribe, and I shall see you in the next one. Toodaloo. Take care. Bye. All right, looks like I'm having yogurt for lunch. There are worse things. I forgot to eat flour. I saw that on an episode of Reading Rainbow once, where a Galapagos turtle ate a hibiscus. That's just what popped into my head. Peppery.